Right now at 5, a storm came through southeast Kansas and southwest Missouri, creating damage.
Now we've got a much calmer start for us on our Wednesday morning now. We're going to take a look at what additional showers are on the way and talk about tomorrow's severe threat coming up.
And seniors in Missouri could see a tax break.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So yesterday, of course, we had the severe thunderstorm warnings, Crawford County, Vernon County, and then in the evening we had that second round of showers and thunderstorms and severe weather that rolled through the area. The good news is this morning we are considerably calmer, but we do have additional showers and thunderstorms on the way. So looking at the Skywatch Storm Tracker, you can see right now it is relatively empty. Just a little bit of ground clutter out there, but take a look at all of the storm reports from across the area. Now, the orange circles represent wind damage reports, and the green circles are reported severe wind gusts. And then there was that supercell that fired up on the south side of Springfield and left a lot of hail reports behind. So we'll have more on the damage from last night's storms in the news segment here in just a moment. First, let's take a look down the road at what's going to happen today. We're going to spend the majority of this day cloudy, but despite the cloud cover, we're still going to warm up and we could still be a pinch muggy. Then later tonight, we're going to start to see showers and thunderstorms develop off to the southeast and roll back to the northwest across the area. They will be scattered, they'll be off and on, and they'll continue into tomorrow morning. And as we head into our Thursday, the morning round of storms is not expected to be strong or severe. We'll just have a few scattered thunderstorms. And then after it pauses, take a look at that gap where the sun gets through. We warm up, and then we'll see the possibility of some additional scattered showers and thunderstorms as we head into Thursday evening and afternoon. Those could potentially be strong to severe. So this is our chance of a few scattered showers today. We have better chances as we head into the overnight into tomorrow morning. Just some evening thunderstorms for us today. We've got an elevated severe threat for parts of southeast Kansas for us tomorrow, and then we have a very low wind risk on Friday. And the thing about Friday is we're looking at the possibility of maybe 1 or 2 storms. And if they actually form, they could be strong. We're not looking at a widespread event. All right, MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line, looking good. Same from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400. Let's take a look at temperatures and the rest of today's forecast. We're at 60 in Joplin, so much cooler than where we were yesterday morning. The north breeze at 5. 62 Lamar, 61 Pittsburgh, Parsons, Chautauqua, Miami, Neosho, and Carthage, and 63 in Monette. Get our morning started. Again, we're looking to be cloudy, maybe a few peaks of sun, but still warming up near 80 by late morning. We head into the afternoon. We got temperatures pushing low to mid 80s, but again, mostly cloudy skies aside from a few peaks of sun. Down to the low to mid 60s tonight with a few showers and thunderstorms in the area. We'll take another complete look at your forecast and what the week ahead has to hold here in just a few more minutes. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. We're looking at storm damage across the 4 states. In Jasper, Missouri, Peggy's restaurant has some roof damage. And we hope you weren't expecting any important packages from Amazon. KOAM Shannon Becker got this video of an Amazon delivery van tipped over on I-44 West near Range Line in Joplin due to winds nearly 60 miles per hour. Missouri's senior homeowners would be spared from rate hikes on property taxes under a bill passed by state lawmakers. If signed by Governor Mike Parson, it would be up to counties to approve the property tax breaks. The freeze on property tax breaks would apply only to the primary residences of people 65 and older. Legislation would also end state taxes on Social Security benefits beginning in 2024. Now, currently, Missouri residents pay taxes on Social Security only if they make more than $85,000 a year or $100,000 a year if married. The Department of Health and Environment in Kansas has concluded a health study conducted near a chemical contamination site in Wichita. In 1998, it was discovered that chemicals from a spill in the 70s or 80s were still in the ground at a Union Pacific rail yard. Researchers found higher rates of liver cancer in the area around the leak. Those rates were double the typical rate in the state among Black residents. They also found more instances of low birth weight, though those instances have been decreasing since 2000. The study's authors concluded these health issues cannot be definitely tied to the contamination since many other factors can influence them. On Monday night, 2 people were arrested in the missing persons and murder case of Dakota Patton. That's after deputies found the body of Parsons' man in a field that morning. KOAM's Amber Jenkins spoke to the local sheriff's office about the investigation.
After 13 days of searching, authorities found Dakota Patton's body in a field on Xavier and 20th Road in Neosho County. Authorities say that he died from an apparent gunshot wound.
We worked with the KBI, Neosho County, Kansas Wildlife and Parks, and everybody took an interest in it. And I think that's the most important part, that we all work together to solve the crime.
Taney County, Missouri authorities arrested Clinton Nembarger and Kimberly Thomas. They're charged with first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder. Nembarger was reportedly the last person to see Patton alive, arguing with him at a gas station, allegedly over a woman. Patton's family previously told me that the family became suspicious of Nembarger starting April 25th.
He called me and see what he could do to help. I told him to come down here and help us search, and he wouldn't do it. He said, "Oh, I've had a few beers. I probably shouldn't be down there."
An Oklahoma marriage license reveals that on the same day that Patton's vehicle was found abandoned in a field, Nembarger and Thomas got married in Iowa County. The sheriff says they then traveled to Missouri for the honeymoon.
We are still doing follow-up leads and stuff on it, but next point will be is they'll get the extradition and they'll be extradited back to Neosho County.
Reporting in Neosho County, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Patton's family is thankful for the support from the community. Their GoFundMe link is available on KOAMnewsnow.com. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, Pittsburgh takes on Labette County. We'll have the results in sports. And a woman is honored for working 47 years at her job, and how workplace stress can interfere with your sleep. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Well, the Pitt State Gorillas are still alive in the MIAA Conference Tournament. The Gorillas are in the Final Four in the bracket after beating Central Oklahoma in the first round last weekend. Next up for Pitt State is a big one. The Gorillas face the top seed in the bracket in Central Missouri in the tournament semifinals tomorrow afternoon. UCM is ranked 4th in the country and took 2 out of 3 from Pitt State when they met in the regular season. Here's PSU head coach Bob Fornelli on what his team needs to do this weekend to get a tournament title in Warrensburg.
Throw strikes, play clean defense, and hit like we're capable of doing, putting pressure on the other team. And, you know, there's 4 really good baseball teams at this tournament. Hopefully we can go play well and be one of those teams out on Saturday. Not many of these guys played together last year. You know, we got a lot of new faces out here. And even the guys that are playing every day and have had great years didn't play a lot for us last year. So it's kind of a new group, and we've done a really good job of becoming a little bit of a family, and I think we're capable of doing better things, and we just got to go prove it.
Well, the Pittsburgh Purple Dragons are in the final week of the regular season. Dragons are 12-5 overall, including 8-2 in the SEK. Pittsburgh still has a chance to share the SEK League Championship. They need to win their final 2 conference games, plus have Chanute beat Fort Scott on Thursday. First things first, though, Pittsburgh at home yesterday afternoon hosting SEK rival Labette County. Now we're going to go to the top of the second. Grizzlies strike first. Kagan Bates, base hit with the bases loaded, scores a pair. Labette County up 2-0 early, but Pittsburgh gets 5 in the bottom of the second. Then in the third, Grant O'Doherty drops one into right center. Quentin Fears scores 2 more for the Dragons. In the third, makes it 7-2. Next inning, big swing from Tucker Akins in the gap to the wall out there. Scores Dawson Stegman from second, double for Akins. Pittsburgh finishes it off in 5 innings, cruising by Labette County 12-2. In Southwest Missouri, Webb City, just 2 games left before the playoffs, beginning with a home date against Kickapoo. In that one, Webb City falls in a low-scoring game, 2-0. Cardinals will finish up the regular season on Thursday, hosting an interstate matchup with the Frontenac Raiders. Local softball now, it's championship night at the Class II District 6 tournament in Mount Vernon. Tournament host Mountaineers face the number 2 seed Diamond. That one over. Mount Vernon scoring twice in the bottom of the 7th to win the district title 7-6 over Diamond. Pittsburgh State's Cordell Tench has been named the Division II National Track and Field Athlete of the Week. Tench won 3 individual MIAA championships over the weekend, but it's what he did in the 110-meter hurdles and the long jump that has earned him national recognition. On Saturday, Tench won the long jump with a wind-aided mark of 27 feet and a half inch. That is the second best all conditions mark in Division II history. Then in the 110-meter hurdles on Sunday, posted a time of 12.97 seconds. It is also the second best all conditions mark in Division II history. Tench helped the Gorillas claim their 8th outdoor MIAA championship in the last 12 years. Still to come, we'll have why women should get mammograms done earlier than what was thought before. And we're going to take another look at that forecast and our fresh thunderstorm chances when the KOAM Morning News returns. Just clearing the throat there. It's been one of those mornings I haven't had coffee in a while, and it leaves me kind of dry. But it's all right. I'm going to need that caffeine. Here we go. Let's take a look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker. This is all ground clutter. We've not got any actual rain falling in the area. In fact, there's just a few stray showers stretching out just north of Hutchinson, and that's about it. But that will change as we go into the evening. We'll talk about that. All these orange circles, these are wind damage reports. Many of them are down power lines or down trees or tree limbs, but some of them, like in Jasper, are actual physical damage to buildings in the area. And we'll have more on the damage that we saw from the storms last night across the area. Now, the good news is, again, our morning today much calmer than what we had. And today, even though we have thunderstorm chances, it's expected to be much calmer. We're expected to spend the majority of our day just gray, cloud cover for the most part. Might get a few peaks of sun in there throughout the afternoon, but really otherwise just cloudy skies. However, despite that cloud cover, that will not stop us from warming back up again, and will still be a pinch on the muggy side as we head into the afternoon. Then we head into later tonight, we'll start to get a few scattered thunderstorms developing. They'll be kind of rolling from southeast to roughly northwest. These aren't expected to be strong or severe, but we do have the additional storm chances, and as you can see, they're going to be widely scattered, so not everybody getting rain out of this particular batch. And they'll continue through the overnight, and we'll see more of them as we head into Thursday morning. But again, you can see very widely scattered out there, which is not what we need. We need as much rain as we can get, but at least if you get under one of these showers or storms, you'll get some rain out of it. We go through our Thursday, and we'll see those storms actually continuing into the early afternoon. But then do you see how we can see the ground colors here? That's because we're going to start to see a brief period of clearing as we head into Thursday afternoon, early evening. And that's going to give us an opportunity for some additional scattered storm development. Again, this is going to be scattered. It won't be like last night where it's a whole line coming through. It'll be isolated storms. But as we head into the evening, we could see a strong storm or two. And we'll talk about that too. Let's talk about rain chances. Again, they'll pick up better as we head into this evening, not significantly. And then as we go into overnight, a few more of those scattered storms out there. Today, it's just a light green coloring. That's for general thunderstorms, no strong or severe storms. Tomorrow, we're bringing back that elevated risk for some of us in southeast Kansas and a low risk for everybody else. Friday is a very conditional threat. There's a low risk for some stronger storms, but storms on Friday are expected to be very isolated in nature. So we may only get 1 or 2 storms, but of those 1 or 2, they could be strong, maybe low-grade severe. MoDOT camera, 20th in range line. We are looking good. Same from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400 after that noisy evening we had yesterday. We're at 60 in Joplin right now. Clear skies, north breeze at about 5 miles an hour. Temperatures around the region, a little cooler than where we were, but still not bad. 61 Fort Scott, Pittsburgh, Parsons, Chautauqua, Independence, Sedan, Miami, Neosho, Carthage. Lots of 61s. 62 in Lamar and 62 in Neodesha. We get our day started. Again, we're going to be cloudy. Doesn't stop us from warming up, though. We're pushing near 80 by late morning. Highs today, low to mid 80s under those cloudy skies. And we're going to drop into the low to mid 60s tonight, again, with those scattered showers and thunderstorm chances across the area. We look ahead. We've got very isolated chance for storms on Friday, as we mentioned, still back into the 80s, mid 70s tomorrow. Evening storms possible as we head into Saturday, and then we'll clear out for a little bit, stay in the mid to upper 70s as we kick off next week. We'll be back with more of the, actually, no, I'm sorry. We had so much weather time that I kind of forgot. We actually have something else to talk about in this segment. How about I go take a seat and we talk about what we've got now? All right, 4 decades is a long time to fry chicken. Now, an Arkansas woman who has been working for KFC for nearly 47 years has set her eyes on retirement. As Cindy Gray reports, the company is honoring her service.
Loretta Neely, the Drive and Passion Award. No one wants to drive like Loretta Neely.
It makes you feel good when other folks appreciate you.
And for over 40 years, so many people have come to appreciate and love Loretta Neely. She's been working at the KFC in West Memphis for decades.
Well, I started off, you would know, chopping cotton. And I prayed and asked the Lord to give me a job. And I promised him I was going to stay at it. So I ended up got a blessing, 2 blessings. I got this job and got married the same year.
Neely says she's seen a lot of change over the years, but her passion for serving others is what's kept her on the job so long.
My peoples coming in. I like working with peoples. I like developing people, making sure that they be successful, along with me being successful.
So when her managers and corporate got word that Miss Neely was thinking about retirement, they wasted no time honoring her.
Loretta, I said, what does Loretta exemplify? All I kept hearing was passion. They talked about her work ethic, that she never complains, that she just has the drive to get it done.
I feel like I was a true blessing to them. If it touches my heart.
Whether she's taking orders, cooking, or guiding new employees, Neely says it's all about taking pride in your work. And while she's in no rush to leave behind her work family, Neely says there are a few things she's looking forward to when it comes to retirement.
Traveling, spending time with my grandkids, and time with my church family and my husband.
KFC has named the Loretta Neely Drive and Passion Award in her honor. And that brings us to our question for you, and this is a good one, I think. How long have you been at your job? 1 to 5 years, 6 to 10 years, 11 to 15, 16 to 20, or something beyond 20? We want to hear from you. Make sure you vote through our website, through the app, and take part in the discussion on our Facebook page. And we will be back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, workplace stress can be tough to handle at the office, but it can also take a toll on your sleep. A new study in the journal JAMA Network found a lack of support from colleagues and bosses can keep you from getting the rest you need. Researchers found having unhelpful coworkers or a bad boss make it hard to let go once you're off the clock. When those things improved, study participants were able to sleep better and get more rest. Well, you may want to rethink plans for those summertime barbecues. A recent study says barbecuing could increase the risk of developing rheumatoid arthritis. Research claims this occurs when certain hydrocarbons are released. These hydrocarbons form from the flame grilling of meats and other foods. Rheumatoid arthritis is a chronic autoimmune disease that causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling. A leading group of health specialists is rolling back the clock, recommending women should start getting mammograms early in life to monitor for breast cancer. Ted Linder has the latest.
An independent panel of medical experts is issuing new cancer screening recommendations for women. In a draft statement, the U.S. Preventive Services Task Force is encouraging women to start getting mammograms every other year starting at age 40 instead of waiting until 50.
And this is really important because nearly 13% of women across the globe are diagnosed with breast cancer at some point in their lives.
The new recommendation is for women at average risk of being diagnosed with the disease, with members of the task force saying early detection is key to preventing deaths, especially for black women who are 40% more likely to die from breast cancer than white women.
Do not wait. Many of us will push things off and say, I'll give it another month, I'll keep my eye on it. It is very important that you act quickly because time can save your life.
Besides skin cancers, the American Cancer Society says breast cancer is the most common type of cancer in women in the U.S., making up roughly 30% of all new cancer cases in women each year.
Be cognizant of any change that you might see, whether it is pain at the site of your breast, if there's a lump, if there's dimpling.
Since 1989, the American Cancer Society says the rate of breast cancer deaths has been declining, falling by 43% through 2020. Still, professionals estimate more than 43,000 women will die from the disease this year alone.
The Preventative Services Task Force will keep its recommendation open for public comment through June 5th before finalizing its decision. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
We've got a much calmer start to our Wednesday morning, and we are looking to have a pretty warm day and additional storm chances this evening. We'll talk about that when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Right now at 5:30, the Joplin History and Mineral Museum looks to add artwork to its grounds.
We've got ourselves some cloudy skies out there for right now, and it's kind of going to remain that way. We also have some additional storm chances. We'll talk about all that coming up.
And history comes to life in Carthage, Missouri.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's now 5:31. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warners. We got a much calmer Wednesday morning for us compared to what we had yesterday morning and yesterday evening. And she's made this cappuccino coffee something or the other here, and it smells really good. It's kind of distracting.
Would you like to try it?
No, I'm good. I've got my own coffee over there to keep me rolling through the morning, and we're going to roll through this forecast. Taking a look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker, what you're seeing is mostly what's known as Virga, ground clutter. It's not actually there. We don't really have any showers. We do have these clouds, though, and these clouds are going to be a consistent theme through today. With last night's storms, all these orange circles are wind damage reports. Now, the majority of them are down power lines or down trees, but up around the Jasper area, there was a cafe lost a third of its roof. We're going to have more on that here in just a few more minutes. But let's take a look at our forecast through today. We're going to be cloudy, and despite the clouds, that doesn't stop us from warming up. Then as we head into this evening, we're going to start to see showers and thunderstorms rolling in from the southeast. These are going to be scattered, so not everybody will get rain out of this, and they'll be off and on through the morning and into the first half of our Thursday. But the good news is, at least with this batch of showers and storms, we're not looking at any strong or severe storms. However, as we head into late tomorrow afternoon, we get a little period of clearing. That lets some sunshine in, and then we could see some additional thunderstorms late on our Thursday, and those could potentially be strong, maybe low-grade severe. We have the rain chances pick up a bit again this evening with some of those storms, and then there's a few more of them as we head into our Thursday morning. Today, just a light green for just general thunderstorms across the area. Tomorrow, there's that elevated risk, the rest of us in a low risk, and Friday's storm chance is extremely conditional. We may see 1 or 2 storms. Those could be strong, but we're looking at a very isolated situation with any activity on Friday. MoDOT camera 20, the range line looks good. Same from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400. We are sitting at 60 in Joplin, and I know it says clear, but we are not clear. It is cloudy. Quick look at temperatures around the area. 60 Iola, 59 Chetopa, 61 Miami, Neosho, Carthage, and 62 in Lamar. We'll have more on your complete forecast and how next week is shaping up here in a few more minutes. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. A storm causing damage came through the 4 states last night. We sent our very own Carrie Worthen to check it out. Good morning, Carrie.
Good morning, Tanya. I am here at Jasper, Missouri, right in front of Peggy Owens Restaurant. And the wind damage last night was it was high. I was at my son's baseball game, and the wind just started coming in really fast. And so there is damage behind me in this building. You can't see the extent of the damage because it's so dark, but hopefully as the sun rises, we can show some more. But as you can see behind me, there is damage to the roof. The wind has made the roof blow off, basically. And there's some damage to the other side of the building. On the ground, you can see pieces of wood on the ground over there. On my way up here, there was also a bunch of tree limbs in the road that you could tell that they were blocking the road, but people removed them. So there's lots of tree limbs and leaves down. So hopefully as the sun comes up, we can get a better footage of this building and show you the extent of the damage.
All right, well, once he lightened it up there, you could really see that it's missing a big chunk of that roof. Thank you so much, Carrie. We'll check back in with you in about 30 minutes. The Joplin History and Mineral Museum is working on a prairie project that involves adding pollinator and native plant-themed artwork to their grounds. The Joplin High School National Arts Honor Society started the project by painting a few benches outside, and now they're working on the finishing touches on a pollinator mural featuring native insects and plants with the help of community volunteers and sponsors. Students from the Carl Junction Art Department volunteered to do the work for a large portion of the mural. And the Veterans Memorial at the Carterville, Missouri Cemetery is now complete. On Tuesday, officials placed the final memorial stone on its pedestal, this one honoring Vietnam War veterans. The first stone placed on the memorial honored Civil War veterans. It was placed in 2018, and now there are also stones honoring veterans from World Wars I and II and the Korean War. City of Joplin wants to increase its visitor numbers by taking a look at a tourism study conducted in town. The City of Joplin asked the Conventions Sports and Leisure International to conduct a tourism study in town, and results are in after a couple of months. On Monday, the council was presented with ideas such as $7 million amphitheater or up to $42 million convention or sports center. Director of the Joplin Convention and Visitors Bureau, Patrick Tuttle, says Rangeline could be a cheaper place to build because of close-by hotels and restaurants, but it should not make the area congested.
If you add another event space in there, it's going to bring 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 people there. What's the impact? So a lot of strategic planning, a lot of analysis has to go into this to think what's the best. And a lot of it boils down to is customer experience. We want people to come here and enjoy themselves, not fight traffic, not have to stand in line.
Tuttle says the next phase for the city is to regroup the committee locally, work with CSL to look at the material deeper, and to start moving forward with possible options. History comes alive for some students in Carthage. On Tuesday, Carthage Intermediate Center hosted its Great Americans Day event in Central Park. The event featured volunteers who dressed up as historical figures to teach local students about their importance and the values they embodied. A performer portraying Squanto says each character not only talks about their life, but historical facts as well.
Each of these characters that they see today have great character traits like perseverance and forgiveness and honesty and caring, and so those are the things that we try to highlight today for all these kids.
About 400 fifth graders from 3 area schools attended the event. The YMCA in Carthage got some new life in a green sense. On Tuesday, the gym hosted a ribbon cutting for a brand new community pantry garden. And after the ribbon cutting, there was an open house. There was a sale on bunnies, honey, and plants.
Our community garden expanded 2 years ago to be what it is today. We completely revamped it because we wanted to produce more food from it. Before, we just had a few raised beds, and we saw that there was a need, and so we expanded it considerably to be about, well, I'd say 5 times the size it was.
The proceeds from the sales benefit the garden. This morning, we're discussing how long you've been at your job.
No, we can't let it go. There's not bunnies in the garden.
I know.
It's talking about you plant the Easter eggs and bunnies will sprout.
Uh-huh.
Didn't you know that?
Yeah, well, typically you don't want bunnies in your garden because then they'll eat your carrots.
Well, that's very true, but you got to think about the Briar Patch, McGregor's garden. There were bunnies. There's stories about bunnies in the gardens doing what you said, but still, bunnies are in gardens. That's the most important moral of the story here. So this is going to make Tanya question this question that we're about to ask and question her commitment to what we do. See, so for over 40 years, so we're talking about how long you've been at your job. So for over 40 years, so many people have come to appreciate and love Loretta Neely. She's been working at the KFC in West Memphis for decades. Neely says she's seen a lot of change over the years, but her passion for serving others is what kept her on the job so long.
So when her managers and corporate got the word that Ms. Neely was thinking about retirement, they wasted no time honoring her. Whether she's taking orders, cooking, or guiding new employees, Neely says it's all about taking pride in your work. While she's in no rush to leave behind her work family, Neely says there are a few things she's looking forward to when it comes to retirement.
So that's what Tanya may be thinking about after she's worked with me for as long as she has. And that brings us to our question for you. How long have you been at your job? 1 to 5, 6 to 10 years, 11 to 15, 16 to 20, or 20 or more? So far, 62% of you say you've been out there 20 or more years, 15% 1 to 5, and another 15% on that 11 to 15, and 8% for 16 to 20.
October will be my 18-year mark here.
I had my 6-year mark here back in January.
All right.
So we're committed for now, or maybe we should be committed.
Committed to you. All right, that's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News, a horse sanctuary teams up with special education students to provide a unique learning experience.
Plus, scientists are now vaccinating koalas against chlamydia. We'll have the latest.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Topping World Watch, Russian President Vladimir Putin marks Victory Day in Russia with a show of military might. Pomp and pageantry filled the Red Square on Tuesday, commemorating the 78th anniversary of the defeat of Nazi Germany in World War II. Russia's defense ministry says dozens of military vehicles and equipment paraded through the streets, including tanks, chemical and biological reconnaissance vehicles, as well as ballistic systems. Putin watched as more than 1,000 military personnel took part in the ceremony. Soviet Union lost about 27 million people in World War II, including both civilian and military personnel. Pakistan's former prime minister has been arrested. Officials from the party of Imran Khan say he was arrested Tuesday outside the court in the capital, Islamabad, over corruption allegations. Agents from the country's anti-corruption body apprehended Khan under heavy security, placed him in a police vehicle. 72-year-old Khan was ousted in a no-confidence vote in April of 2022. Since his removal from power, Khan has been slapped with dozens of charges. He claims his ousting was illegal and politically motivated. Australian scientists have begun vaccinating wild koalas against chlamydia to protect the marsupials against a widespread disease that causes blindness, infertility, and death. After they are caught, the koalas are given a checkup, and researchers then administer anesthesia and vaccine shots. To ensure the same animals are not caught twice, the researchers mark the koalas with a dab of pink dye on their backs before releasing them. Safety and effectiveness of the vaccine, which has been designed specifically for koalas, has previously been tested by vaccinating a few hundred koalas brought to wildlife rescue centers. That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Beware migraine medicine.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:46 on this Wednesday morning. So let's take a look at Skywatch Storm Tracker. The great news is all of this is what's known as virga or ground clutter. The only thing we really have out there is the cloud cover, and that's going to be consistent throughout today. These are the storm reports from last night. As we've been mentioning this morning, these orange dots represent wind damage reports, and the green ones represent severe wind gusts. And so with the damage reports, the majority of these have been down trees or power lines, but we've been talking about the damage in Jasper, where that cafe lost part of its roof in last night's storms. There's what's going to happen today. We're going to be socked in with clouds. We may get a few peaks of sun out there, but it's going to otherwise be a fairly cloudy day. Despite that, we're still going to be able to warm up. Then we'll head later this evening. We're going to start to see a few scattered showers and thunderstorms rolling in from roughly southeast to northwest. Now, these are going to be widely scattered, so not everybody's going to get rain out of this, but there will still be some showers and storms. The good news is these are not expected to be strong or severe. We'll get little pauses here and there, and then we'll see more widespread activity as we head into tomorrow morning. A few more, again, scattered showers and thunderstorms. Here we are at 11. Still have some of them hanging on, but you can see they're scattered. They're not like last night. We go into 2 o'clock, still a few of them out there. And then take a look. You can see where the clouds are and where the clouds aren't. We're going to get a brief pause in the cloud cover tomorrow that's going to allow the sun to shine through, and we could see some additional thunderstorms roll into the area through the evening and late evening hours on our Thursday. Those have the possibility to be strong, possibly severe. So we get a low-end rain chance as we head into this evening with some of those storms and showers, and then they'll really pick up as we head into tomorrow morning. Today, again, just some general thunderstorm chances, no strong or severe storms expected. Here's that elevated risk for severe storms in parts of southeast Kansas, a low-end risk for everyone else. And Friday, see a low-end risk for everybody, but Friday is an interesting point, and it's something that we need to make. Friday's storm chances are very low. We may only see one storm in the entire area, but there's the possibility if that one storm does develop, it could be strong, maybe low-grade severe. But at least right now, Friday's storm chances are looking to be extraordinarily isolated. But there's that possibility one of them could become a little stronger. MoDOT Cameron, 20th and Range Line. We're looking good out there. Roads are dry. Cars are moving. As we've said before, that's always a great thing that they're in motion. 69 and 400, KDOT camera there just south of Pittsburgh. You can see still some wet spots here and there, but roads continuing to dry out this morning. We got cloudy skies across the area, and again, that's going to be our theme for today. 60 in Joplin with a north breeze at 5, so a little cooler than where we were yesterday. We've got 60 Fort Scott, 63 in Chinook, 59 Chitopa, 61 Miami, Neosho, and Carthage, and we're sitting at 62 in Lamar. We get our day started, again, cloudy, maybe a few peaks of sun here and there, but again, doesn't stop us from warming into the upper 70s by late morning. Afternoon highs today, low to mid 80s under those cloudy skies, and as we talked about, we'll start to see a few scattered showers and thunderstorms as we head into the evening and overnight hours tonight. We'll drop back into the low to mid 60s. As we look at the week ahead, we're going to be mid 70s for us on Thursday. We're going to be lower 80s Friday, Saturday. Saturday, there's a chance of a few scattered showers and thunderstorms as we head into the evening. And it'll be low 80s, and we're going to hang out in the mid to upper 70s, and we're going to pause from the rain until we see another system on Wednesday we're going to keep an eye on for evening thunderstorm chances, and our temperatures remain mild, upper 70s near 80. So we'll, of course, have a pretty decent day, and we're thankfully getting some much-needed rainfall. We'll have more on the KOAM Morning News right after this.
La Horse Sanctuary in Louisa County, Virginia is teaming up with the local school district to provide a unique learning experience for some special education students. It's good for both the students who are learning some important life skills and the horses who are the rescue animals. Dryden Quigley has more.
I just like all horses.
Jason Wilton Carter is a Louisa County high schooler in the special education program. He's been coming to the farm for months.
We see what Miss Rhonda and Mr. Bill need us to do. Then we help them out. And what else they don't have for us to do, we just start petting horses.
Miss Rhonda is Rhonda Vina Laporte, the co-owner of Serenity Farm Equine Sanctuary. All of the horses here are rescues.
Some of them are law enforcement seizures. They were starvation or neglect or abuse cases. Some are owner surrenders for a myriad of reasons.
The horses and students are both learning to trust.
They teach the horses teach them.
Most of them have little to no experience with horses.
The first time I was a little scared, but
this time you were a pro.
I guess so.
Now the students are riding with ease, some even taking the reins themselves. But it took work to get there.
They're terrified of the animals, and then as they learn to get near them and groom them and help them, they get more and more attached. Each one has kind of a favorite horse or donkey, and then to see them get up on the horses when some of them didn't even want to be around them at the beginning of the year is really cool.
Students learn everything from building a barn to saddling a horse. Not all students will go on to work with animals in the future, so the skills they learn can be taken to any job.
One of the most rewarding things is to see one of these kids around the community years and years down the road or whatever, and they're working and they're successful largely because of what they were able to do during their final years at school through this program.
As a senior, it's Jason's last day, but he says he's taking away new skills.
Riding horses, helping other people, and being kind to other people.
The Horse Sanctuary houses 35 animals. It is accepting donations from people who want to help. Money raised will go towards the horses' care at Serenity Farm. We'll be right back. Archaeologists have found the remains of a 19th century quarantine hospital and cemetery on a submerged island in the Florida Keys. This video was released by the Dry Tortugas National Park, and it shows underwater excavations which began in August of 2022 during a survey of the Fort Jefferson Post Cemetery near Garden Key. Records indicate dozens of people may have been buried at the site. The Audubon Aquarium in New Orleans, Louisiana, recently named its newest penguin resident, an endangered African penguin dubbed Titan. According to the aquarium, Titan hatched on February 10th and is the third chick from penguin parents Ochio and Hubig. Video filmed by the aquarium on May 8th shows gray-feathered Titan in a small enclosure. The aquarium says Titan will join the rest of the colony once he learns to swim, and guests will be able to see him in person when the facility reopens on June 8th after extensive renovations.
Well, we've got ourselves a cloudy day across the area. We could see a few peaks of sunshine out there. That doesn't stop us from warming up, though. We're near 80 by late morning. Highs today low to mid 80s under those mostly cloudy skies. Then as we head into this evening, we're going to see the return of scattered shower and thunderstorm chances, and those will go into the overnight and into our Thursday as well. But the good news is, at least through tonight, no strong or severe thunderstorms expected. However, Thursday afternoon, we could have a strong, maybe severe thunderstorm in the area, so we'll keep an eye on that. Be in the mid-70s. Then we got a very conditional chance of a thunderstorm or two on Friday, low 80s. A few more evening storms Saturday, low 80s. Then we'll take a break from the rain, even though we need more of it. And the good news is Mother Nature delivers next Wednesday more scattered thunderstorm chances in the evening. Temperatures mid to upper 70s, maybe even some low 80s. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Right now at 6, severe weather tears through the 4 states with winds strong enough to topple a delivery van.
We've got a much calmer start for us on this Wednesday morning, and we do have more thunderstorm chances later today and into tomorrow. Talk about that in your forecast coming up.
And if you're a senior in Missouri and a homeowner, you could soon see a property tax break in your future.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner, coming up on 6:01 on this Wednesday morning, halfway through the work week, and we've got ourselves a considerably calmer Wednesday morning out there, which is good because we had those severe thunderstorms yesterday morning. We had that pause and then more of those storms rolling in as we went into yesterday evening. Skywatch Storm Tracker showing us mostly just Virga and ground clutter out there. Nothing really coming down. The only thing we've got that's really happening on this radar image right now are the clouds, and that will be our theme for today. Recapping last night's storm reports, all of the green circles are severe wind gusts. Those are wind gusts that were measured. The orange circles, though, are wind damage reports, and the majority of these are from trees and power lines being down, but we had some structural damage in Jasper, which we'll be talking about here in just a couple of minutes. Let's go through today. We're going to be cloudy, but that doesn't stop us from warming up, and we're going to spend our entire day like that, maybe a few peaks of sun out there. Then we head into this evening and into the overnight. We're going to start to see scattered showers and thunderstorms rolling into the area. The good news is, the good news is these are not expected to be strong or severe. We're just talking thunderstorms. These continue through the first half of our Thursday with more scattered showers and storms, and then see clouds and no clouds. We get a little bit of sunshine as we head into tomorrow afternoon and into the early evening, and that could allow some additional thunderstorms to develop, and those could potentially be strong to severe, so we'll keep an eye on that for you. Rain chances pick up again a little bit this evening, and then we have better chances. We see more widespread thunderstorms heading into tomorrow. We have just general thunderstorms for us today. That's that light green color. We've got the elevated risk for a few severe storms in southeast Kansas and a low risk for the rest of the area. And Friday's low risk is extremely conditional. Storms Friday look to be very isolated. If we saw one or two, those could potentially be strong, but it's a very low end risk of severe weather and a very low end risk of storms at all. MoDOT camera, 20th and range line, looks good. KDOT camera has deactivated for the moment, but that's all right. It'll come back later. Our camera, 7th and range line, cloudy skies out there, a little cooler as well. 61 with calm winds. We take a look at temperatures around the area. And again, cooler than yesterday, but not too shabby. We've got 59 Fort Scott, 63 Chanute, 59 in Chatopa, 61 Miami, and 62 Neosho, Carthage, and Lamar. We'll have those cloudy skies to start our day, maybe a few peaks of sun. Again, doesn't stop us from warming into the upper 70s by late morning. And for today, cloudy skies, again, maybe some sunshine here and there. Temperatures low to mid 80s. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. Now, we are looking at storm damage across the 4 states this morning. And in Jasper, Missouri, you can see there, this is Peggy's Restaurant. Video from last night showing some major roof damage. Take a look at that again in a moment. And KOAM Shannon Becker got this video of an Amazon delivery van tipped over on I-44 West near Rangeline in Joplin due to winds nearly 60 miles per hour. It wasn't just the high winds on the highway that brought damage to the 4 states. KOAM's Carrie Worthen is live from Jasper, where the city saw its own damage from the high winds and the storms. Good morning, Carrie.
Good morning, Tanya. I'm here in Jasper, Missouri, standing outside of Peggy's own family restaurant. As you can see behind me, there is some damage to the roof of it. The worst part of it we can't see from this angle, but there is a big loud semi truck on the other side, so you probably won't be able to hear me if we're on the other side. But as the sun's coming up, you can see it even better that there's damage up there on the roof. The wind was really bad last night. I know the baseball game, and the wind just came really fast and quick, and everybody scattered, and so I understand how bad the wind was, and I can only imagine what it was like here. There is really big puddles of water too, so we did get a lot of rainfall, which is good, but also the wind did cause some damage to this building right here. And on my way in, there was some tree limbs down and a bunch of broken tree branches. So that's what I'm seeing here.
Have they posted anything at Peggy's Restaurant? Will they be able to open later today, or is it too soon to tell?
It's too soon to tell. There's nobody here yet, so I'm hoping if someone does show up, maybe they could talk to us and I can see what their plans are to get the building fixed.
How about debris in the area? Are you noticing any trees or limbs down or anything, or is it just strictly at Peggy's Restaurant?
It's there, this area. On my way in from Kansas, you notice that Missouri side has got a lot more damage than the Kansas side because there was a bunch of limbs down, some big tree branches, also some little tree branches that had to dodge on the road in. And there's some wood on the other side of Peggy's Restaurant here that's on the ground from the building.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Carrie. We will check back in with you in another 30 minutes. On Tuesday, the Kansas Department of Transportation participated in the Pittsburgh City Commissioners meeting, answering and fielding questions over the potential Highway 69 Western bypass. This is after they participated in the Crawford County Commissioners meeting in Girard this past Friday. KDOT fielded questions ranging from the cost of the project, benefits of the bypass, and concerns of the bypass.
Nobody wants a landfill in your backyard. Nobody wants a highway in your backyard. The problem is, and the point that we would make is that new highway construction is probably the best economic development that we can have in a community, that we can have in Crawford County. And the construction of any new highway is a win for us.
If the bypass is just going to be taking all the money away. Now, I'm very concerned for the state of the economy here in Pittsburgh, Kansas, if my generation and the generations below decide to move away and not bring our new business ideas, especially from our concern of all the money going west.
If you have any questions for KDOT, you can email engagement@ks.tyke.org. Missouri's senior homeowners would be spared from rate hikes on property taxes under a bill passed by state lawmakers. If signed by Governor Mike Parson, it would be up to counties to approve the property tax breaks. Freeze on property tax breaks would apply only to the primary residences of people 65 and older. Legislation would also end state taxes on Social Security benefits beginning in 2024. Currently, Missouri residents pay taxes on Social Security only if they make more than $85,000 a year or $100,000 a year if married. To be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Well, a federal jury in Manhattan orders former President Trump to pay $5 million to writer Jean Carroll, the woman who accused Trump of assaulting her back in the mid-1990s. Former president called the decision a, quote, disgrace. He has denied the allegations. Astrid Martinez has more on the jury's decision as well as the reaction.
A Manhattan federal jury found former President Trump liable for sexual battery and defamation in the civil case brought by writer Jean Carroll. The jury of 6 men and 3 women awarded Carroll about $2 million for sexual battery and about $3 million for defamation after less than 3 hours of deliberations. The jury did not find Trump liable for rape.
Part of me was obviously very happy that Donald Trump was not branded a rapist.
In her 2019 memoir, Carroll accused Trump of raping her in a New York department store dressing room in the mid-90s. Later, she also accused Trump of defaming her as he forcefully denied the allegation. Trump slammed the jury's decision on Truth Social.
I have absolutely no idea who this woman is. The verdict is a disgrace, a continuation of the greatest witch hunt of all time.
The former president did not attend the trial and was not present when the decision was read, but parts of his deposition were shown in court, including his explanation of the now infamous Access Hollywood tape.
It's true with stars that they can grab women by the...
Well, that's what it's, if you look over the last million years, I guess that's been largely true. Not always, but largely true. Unfortunately or fortunately.
Trump and his lawyers say they will appeal the jury's decision. Astrid Martinez, CBS News, New York.
This decision comes as the former president is mounting a 2024 presidential bid, and it adds to his legal troubles. Trump was indicted by a Manhattan grand jury earlier this year on charges related to the allegations that he may have falsified business records, though he has pleaded not guilty. He also faces multiple investigations into his handling of classified documents and efforts to overturn the 2020 election. Trump has denied any wrongdoing. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, healthy social media use for teens.
How can you help your children have healthy social media habits? I'm Danya Backus with some newly released guidelines.
Plus, embattled Congressman George Santos prepares to face federal charges. This while scrutiny into the congressman's background continue to grow. And Chris returns with another look at your forecast and if storm conditions stick around and for how long. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch this morning, Fort Hood in Killeen, Texas has a new name. The military post was named after a Confederate general, but now it will honor the Army's first Hispanic 4-star general. The base was designated Tuesday as Fort Cavazos in honor of General Richard Edward Cavazos. Cavazos was born in Texas to Mexican-American parents, served in the Korean and Vietnam Wars, became a 4-star general in 1982. Fort Hood is one of 9 Army installations being redesignated to remove Confederate names from military bases. Searchers have found the personal effects of 2 mountain climbers missing in Alaska's Denali National Park and Preserve. There's still no sign of the climbers themselves. 2 hikers in their 30s have not been seen since starting the climb on a 10,300-foot peak near the Ruth Gorge on Friday. The National Park Service says some of their equipment, including 2 ice axes and a climbing helmet, have been found. State of Florida says it has rejected more than a third of the social studies textbooks submitted for approval. When submitted materials were initially reviewed, only 19 of the 101 were approved. According to the Florida Department of Education, social studies materials were rejected because they were, quote, inaccurate or not aligned with state law. Governor Ron DeSantis has been openly critical of teaching America's racial history in the classroom because he says that might indoctrinate students to hate the U.S. Embattled Congressman George Santos is expected to appear in a federal court later today after being charged by the Justice Department. The New York Republican has faced scrutiny for embellishing his background since taking office in January. Astrid Martinez has the latest on what charges he could be facing.
CBS News has learned that federal prosecutors have filed criminal charges against Congressman George Santos. This latest revelation follows a months-long investigation into the New York lawmaker's finances and financial disclosures.
If he broke the public trust like they're saying he did, then yeah, he should absolutely, face the consequences.
While the charges against Santos haven't been made public, the FBI and Justice Department have been investigating Santos' campaign finance irregularities since he took office in January, specifically as to how he raised hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Our member of Congress is a liar, a fraud, and a criminal, and he needs to go.
Long Island lawmaker Judge LaFazen became the latest to call for Santos' expulsion from the House. While Santos has admitted to embellishing parts of his resume, he has come under repeated scrutiny and criticism stemming from allegations regarding his pattern of lies in relation to his heritage, family history, and employment history. Santos has repeatedly resisted calls to resign and recently announced he was running for re-election.
I haven't seen the indictment, but as you know, with George Santos, I did not put him on any committees. For those like Senator Menendez, who was indicted and went to trial, he was still able to vote, and others. I believe he's a chairman of a committee today. In America, we'll just follow the same pattern we always have.
Sources tell CBS News Santos is expected to appear in court later today. Astrid Martinez, CBS News, New York.
The charges alone have no effect on Santos' stature as a member of Congress. If convicted, he could be barred from votes on the House floor. Santos does not resign. 2/3 of the House would have to vote to expel him. That's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got ourselves a much calmer Wednesday, at least a not much calmer start to our Wednesday across the area. We are still watching the possibility of some thunderstorm chances later tonight into tomorrow. We'll talk about all of that when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 6:19. We're taking a look at the storm reports from last night's storm activity across the area. So the green circles are measured severe wind gusts of 58 miles an hour or greater. The orange circles that you see are actual wind damage reports. And again, the majority of these are down trees and power lines, but up around the Jasper area, we had actual structural damage. And we'll have more on that a little later in the show. Let's talk about what's going to happen today. Today, we're going to remain cloudy, but despite the cloud cover, we're still going to be warm. Then as we head into the evening, we're going to start to see a few scattered showers and thunderstorms, especially late evening, say around 9, 10 o'clock. These will be scattered, so not everybody's going to get rain from this activity, at least not all at once. And the good news is the storms tonight and into the first half of our Thursday, not expected to be strong or severe. There's a little pause overnight Thursday, and then by this time tomorrow morning, we'll start to see more showers and thunderstorms across the area. And again, they're scattered, so not everybody getting rain all at once, but everybody will get in on at least some kind of shower activity. As we head into the afternoon, we're looking at the possibility of these storms pausing and then redeveloping, and if that happens, we have the possibility of a couple of strong, maybe severe thunderstorms as we head into Thursday afternoon and evening. So our rain chances pick up ever so slightly this evening, as we could see a few, and then they'll really pick up as we head through the morning hours tomorrow, where we see a few more of those widespread showers and storms. So for today, this light green area, not even on the key, because this is just general thunderstorms. However, tomorrow we've got the elevated risk for severe weather in parts of southeast Kansas and a low risk for everybody else. And Friday, as you can see, it's a low risk for everybody, but Friday is a very conditional threat. The possibility of thunderstorms developing, the chances are extremely low. We may only get one storm the whole day in the entire area, but that one storm will have the ability to be strong, possibly low-grade severe. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line, starting to get a little more daylight out there. Same from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400 as the roads continue to dry from last night's much-needed rainfall. We've got a little bit of clearing, the sun trying to peek through out there from 7th and Range Line, but it's really going to have not much luck today doing that. We're at 61 in Joplin, calm breeze out there, and again, mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures around the region: 60 Fort Scott, Nevada, Pittsburgh, 61 in Parsons, Miami, and 62 Neosho, Carthage, and Lamar. get our day started. Again, we'll be mostly cloudy throughout the morning. Again, a few peaks of sun like what we're getting now, but otherwise cloudy. Still warm though, near 80 by late morning. Highs today low to mid 80s across the area under those cloudy skies. And we'll see those showers and thunderstorms start to build back in this evening and overnight and drop back down into the lower 60s. We'll have those storm chances again through at least Saturday to Saturday evening. Mid 70s tomorrow, low 80s Friday and Saturday. We'll pause from the rain for a few days as we kick off next week, and then we have another system with more thunderstorm chances by next Wednesday. That's Check Your Forecast. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, military personnel exposed to explosions could be at an increased risk of developing cognitive issues later in life. Researchers found otherwise healthy people who experience repetitive brain trauma, including battlefield shockwaves, accumulate excessive amounts of a protein in the brain that plays a role in the development of Alzheimer's. Researchers in Australia and at Boston University are developing a tool they say shows promise detecting Parkinson's disease years before the first symptoms appear. Using AI technology to study blood, they have identified unique chemical markers that could potentially predict a patient will develop Parkinson's. A new research published by Oxford University Press finds overweight boys tend to have a lower testicular volume, which puts them at an increased risk of lower sperm count as adults. Researchers believe that weight loss could help young patients avoid future infertility problems. Concern about social media use by teens is rising. Just last month, U.S. senators proposed legislation that would bar kids under the age of 13 from using social media. And now the American Psychological Association has issued 10 recommendations for social media use by teens. Danya Bacchus takes a look.
Lakeisha Johns worries about her kids' social media use. The mother of 5 says it's hard to know the impact of what they are exposed to.
I absolutely am concerned. They are submerged in it. It is at their fingertips.
The American Psychological Association has issued 10 recommendations for adolescent social media use to help parents like Lakeisha, educators, policymakers, and teens.
Social media is not inherently bad or inherently good. It is how it's used.
Dr. Arthur C. Evans is the CEO for the American Psychological Association. His group analyzed research and is suggesting training in social media for parents and young people.
Youth and parents should be literate and have some social media literacy, understanding the impact that social media can have on social connections.
In addition, the APA recommends parents monitor social media use, tailor it based on developmental capabilities, minimize exposure to illegal and cyber hate content, and look out for signs of problematic behavior.
Incessant use that disrupts sleep or use that focuses overly on social comparisons can lead to depression and anxiety, particularly in young adolescent girls.
Lakeisha already implements most of the guidelines.
We try to condense down the time that they have access, and we also have the parental controls in place as well.
With social media a part of our culture, the APA wants kids to have safe and meaningful experiences. Danya Bacchus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Dr. Evans says the recommendations are not a one-size-fits-all approach. Parents should place appropriate restrictions based on the child's development and age. For a complete list of the American Psychological Association's recommendations, you can log on to apa.org. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we've got ourselves a nice-looking sunrise, trying to get some sunlight out there, but you see all these clouds overhead. It's going to be cloudy for the majority of our day. We're at 61 in Joplin right now with a calm breeze. Temperatures around the region, again, they're cooler than yesterday, but still not bad. 60 Nevada, Fort Scott, Pittsburgh. 61 in Parsons, 62 Chanute and Neosho, and 62 in Carthage. We go through our day again. We're expecting to be cloudy, a few peaks of sun possible, but despite the clouds, we still warm up. We're talking near 80 by 11, and we head into the afternoon. Low to mid 80s for highs. Again, mostly cloudy skies, maybe some sunshine here and there. And as we head into this evening, we got scattered showers and thunderstorms returning to the forecast late tonight and overnight. But the good news is no stronger severe storms expected with this. Down to 70 by 10, overnight lows in the lower 60s. Be back with more right after this.
Right now it's 6:30. KOAM's Yana Hadula takes us to Joplin, where the city aims to boost its tourism numbers.
We've got a much calmer Wednesday morning for us compared to yesterday morning and yesterday evening, but more showers and storms are on the way. We'll talk about that in your forecast coming up.
And the Joplin History and Mineral Museum plants the seeds for a prairie project complete with pollinator and native plant-themed artwork.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's now 6:32. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So again, this morning, a much better start to the day than what we had yesterday morning, because we had a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings, some hail reports, and then yesterday evening, of course, we know that big line of storms rolled through, brought us much needed rainfall. Unfortunately, it also brought us some damage reports across the area. So the green circles, as we talked about this morning, those represent measured severe wind gusts. So wind gusts of 58 miles an hour or greater, and the orange circles are representative of wind damage reports. And most of these have been trees and power lines down, but in the Jasper area, we've actually got structural damage. We'll have more on that coming up here in just a minute. As we go through our day today, we're going to be cloudy, but it's not going to stop us from warming up, and it'll stay that way through the majority of the day. Then we'll see a few scattered showers and thunderstorms as we head into late evening tonight and overnight, and those will resume as we head into Thursday morning and persist through the majority of our Thursday. There will be a very brief pause in the activity Thursday afternoon, and then it's expected to pick up again. And if it does, some of the storms that we see tomorrow afternoon could be strong, possibly severe. So something we'll keep an eye on for you. But through tonight, the good news, no stronger severe storms through tonight. Rain chances pick up a little bit this evening, then they'll pick up more so as we head into tomorrow morning. We've got just the general thunderstorms today for us. We have that elevated risk for severe weather in parts of southeast Kansas, and Friday's severe risk is extremely conditional at this point. It may not even happen. All right, 20th and range line looking good from the MoDOT camera there, and same from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400. Sun trying to peek out. Otherwise, we've got those mostly cloudy skies. 61 in Joplin right now, and as we look across the area very quickly, 60 Nevada, Pittsburgh, Fort Scott, 61 Parsons, Miami, 62 in Neosho. We'll have more on your complete forecast and how the weekend is shaping up here in just a few minutes. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. The 4 states saw high winds and storm damage roll through on Tuesday, and KOAM's Carrie Worthen is live from Jasper, Missouri, where the city saw its own damage from the severe weather. Good morning, Carrie.
Good morning, Tanya. So we decided to switch locations, so hopefully you guys can hear me. There is a semi right next to us. But we are in front of Peggy Owens Family Restaurant here. And as the sun is rising, you can see the extent of the damage. So not only is the roof blown off from the storm last night, but it's actually laying across the street on the grass, and there's wood everywhere. I think it was in the road because it looks like people have pushed the wood into the ditch to get it out of the road. The severity of this damage, though, this is going to be some kind of expensive repairs. So hopefully that they can have good insurance. But the wind was really bad. So this is not only the damage that I've seen in Jasper, but I've also seen tree limbs down. I've seen big branches broken off and even some small branches in the road that I had to dodge as I was coming here. So it was pretty bad last night here in Missouri.
All right, now Peggy's restaurant there, is that part of the truck stop there in Jasper, Missouri?
Yes, this is Jasper, Missouri, not Jasper County, Jasper, Missouri. So it's right here off the highway, and it's a truck stop too right next to us. So there's a bunch of semis parked by. So hopefully you guys can hear me still over the semis.
Yeah, we can hear you just fine, and appreciate you moving around to the other side. It's impressive damage on top of that restaurant. Wow, wow. Well, hopefully everyone is okay in that area.
Yeah, and then all the roof. Yeah, the roof is laying across the street. I can see it. It's in big pieces over there, just laying there. So hopefully they can get that fixed pretty soon and reopen.
Okay, thank you very much for that report, Carrie. Well, the city of Joplin hopes a tourism study will help increase the number of visitors to town. KOAM's Yana Tula talked with representatives from the Joplin Convention and Visitors Bureau and a local hotel about possible improvements to enhance tourism.
The city of Joplin asked the Conventions, Sports, and Leisure International to conduct a tourism study in town, and results are in after a couple of months.
We have a really strong market as it is right now in leisure travel, but what can we do that's going to raise all boats? What's going to do something that's going to impact the hotels, impact the restaurants, retail, something that we can be proud of, and also long term we got to find something that A, we can afford to build, we can also pay for it, but also sustain it.
On Monday, the council was presented with ideas such as a 7 million amphitheater or up to 42 million convention or sports center. Tuttle says Rangeline could be a cheaper place to build because of close-by hotels and restaurants, but it should not make the area congested.
If you add another event space in there, it's going to bring 6, 7, 8,000 people there. What's the impact? We want people to come here and enjoy themselves, not fight traffic, not have to stand in line, not oversaturate a certain restaurant base.
Mike Greniger, the director of sales at the La Quinta Inn in Joplin, says there are a lot of needs in Joplin when it comes to venues.
It really is sad that a town the size of our community, and if you were to have a meeting over 250 people, you don't have anywhere that you can host that meeting right now. And that goes for reunions, for weddings. I mean, it's just really some of our venues. We all have good venues, but there's just no those large venues that we need when it comes time to host and accommodate a group of that size.
In Joplin, Janna Hautala, KOAM News.
Tuttle says the next phase for the city is to regroup the committee locally, work with CSL to look at the material deeper, and start moving forward with possible options. Joplin History and Mineral Museum is working on a prairie project that involves adding pollinator and native plant-themed artwork to their grounds. The Joplin High School National Arts Honors Society started the project by painting a few benches outside, and now they're working on the finishing touches on a pollinator mural featuring native insects and plants with the help of community volunteers and sponsors. Students from the Carl Junction Art Department volunteered to do the work for a large portion of the mural. Veterans Memorial at the Carterville, Missouri Cemetery is now complete. On Tuesday, officials placed the final memorial stone on its pedestal, this one honoring Vietnam War veterans. The first stone placed on the memorial honored Civil War veterans. It was placed in 2018, and now there are also stones honoring veterans from World Wars I and II and the Korean War. Carthage Intermediate Center hosted its Great Americans Day event in Central Park. The event featured volunteers who dressed up as historical figures to teach local students about the importance and the values they embody. Each character not only talks about their life and historical facts, but also has a trait they teach the kids, such as forgiveness, perseverance, honesty, and trustworthiness. One student shares the figures he most looked forward to seeing.
Mostly because Abraham Lincoln was the guy that helped slaves, like get out and stuff. And Squanto was one of the people that started Thanksgiving, from what I know.
About 400 fifth graders from 3 area schools attended the event. That's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News, it's the end of an era for MTV News as its parent company decides to pull the plug due to restructuring.
And we've got ourselves a pretty decent Wednesday across the area, but we do have more storms in the forecast. We'll take a look at that complete forecast when we come back.
In Consumer Watch this morning, a much anticipated meeting between President Biden and the 4 top congressional party leaders yesterday yielded no agreement towards raising the nation's debt limit. The U.S. Treasury has warned the nation could default on its debt as early as June 1st if Congress fails to act. The president and his party want to raise the debt ceiling with no strings attached, while GOP leaders want to negotiate a deal that includes spending cuts. Goldman Sachs has agreed to pay $215 million to settle a class action lawsuit that alleged the company routinely discriminated against women employees for pay and promotions. The agreement covers almost 3,000 current and former employees, and it also requires the financial giant to invest investigate and address gender pay gaps. Goldman Sachs has denied wrongdoing. It's sad news for those who want their MTV. MTV News is shutting down as part of a restructure at Paramount Global. Company is slashing a quarter of employees from MTV, Showtime, and Paramount Media Networks in an effort to cut costs. Paramount Global is the parent company of CBS News. That's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, again, we've got ourselves a pretty calm start to our Wednesday across the area. As we mentioned, though, thunderstorms are in the forecast, and there's the possibility of some severe storms tomorrow. We'll take a look at that when the KOAM Morning News returns. But first, we're going to talk about what's coming up on CBS Mornings. We've got our birthdays and anniversaries right after this particular break. But as I mentioned, we're going to first take that look at what's happening on CBS Mornings.
Hello to you, I'm Gail King. Coming right up on CBS Mornings, it's your favorite morning show. Charles Kelly of the country music band Lady A, Love Them, tells us about his journey to sobriety and how it changed his relationship with his family and his band. That's coming right up on CBS Mornings.
All right, time for some of those Wednesday birthdays here in the 4 states. And we are going to begin with Cooper Pulliam celebrating birthday number 3. Looks like he's off to a great ride there. Happy birthday, Cooper.
Up next, we have one of our very own KOAM extended family members, Mr. Charlie Clapp, baseball extraordinaire player there, I know. Charlie is actually the son of our very own Carrie Worthen. She'd like to send you a message this morning, Charlie. She loves you with all of her mommy heart.
All right, up next, we've got Hayden Sloan celebrating number 13 in Miami. Happy birthday, Hayden.
All right, and Mallory Haley turning sweet 16 this year in Miami, Oklahoma.
And Desiree Burr celebrating birthday number 19 in Lamar. Very happy birthday to you, Desiree.
Dalton Meisner turning 22 years old in Chanute.
And Cheyenne Condor also celebrating number 22. Happy birthday, Cheyenne.
In Carthage, Kendra Clements. Happy birthday.
And our list continues with Wayne Eggs celebrating a birthday in Columbus. Happy birthday, Wayne.
Lorna Stover in Columbus. Happy birthday to you.
And Lori Stevens in Bronson, Kansas, celebrating number 61. Very happy birthday to all of you. And of course, like we say every morning, we love celebrating with you. How can they celebrate with us, Tanya?
That's right. All you have to do is send your birthday, include the date and the name and the age and the hometown, and even better yet, the picture too. Send that all to birthdays with an S at KOAMnewsnow.com.
And of course, while you're on our website, checking out the latest news, weather, and sports, make sure you take time to sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club. It is easy to do, and you get special deals from local businesses. You also get a special birthday message from your friends here at KOAM. So head over to KOAMnewsnow.com, sign up for that birthday club today. All right, let's take a look at our forecast. We're going to start with last night. All of these green circles represent measured severe wind gusts. So that's wind gusts that were measured at 58 miles an hour or greater. All of these orange circles represent wind damage report. Now, the majority of these are down trees and power lines across the area, but as we've been talking about this morning, in Jasper, Missouri, actual structural damage to Peggy's Cafe up there. We'll have more on that through the morning show and as we continue over on Fox 14 at 7 a.m. As for today, we're looking to be socked in pretty well with clouds. Despite the clouds, we'll still manage to warm up. And then later this evening, and I'm talking late this evening, here we are 9, 10 o'clock, we'll start to see a few scattered showers and thunderstorms out there rolling from southeast to northwest. They'll pause briefly overnight and then resume as we head into our Thursday morning. And our Thursday is going to be primarily packed with scattered showers and thunderstorms. This is as we go through the morning. There's a brief pause in the early afternoon, and then there will be additional development in the evening. And tomorrow afternoon and evening, we do have the possibility of seeing a strong storm or two across the area, maybe even a couple of severe thunderstorms. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. Rain chances pick up a little bit this evening, and of course they'll really pick up as we head into tomorrow, as we start to see more widespread scattered showers and thunderstorms. We've just got general thunderstorms for this evening across the area, but here's that elevated severe risk as we head into Thursday, and a low end risk for the rest of us. And Friday, this is where it gets interesting. We have a low end risk for strong storms across the entire area, but the dynamics for Friday are suggesting that we may only get a couple of storms at best at this point. And so if we saw a storm or two, they could be possibly strong, maybe low-grade severe. So Friday's threat and thunderstorm chances are extremely conditional. MoDOT camera, 20th and Range line, looking good. Sun trying to come out. And you can see not as much sunshine on the KDOT camera at 69 and 400 just south of Pittsburgh, because look at this. We've just got this massive clouds out there, and that's how it's going to remain through the majority of today. But the sun trying to peek out, and it'll also be like that. The sun will try to peek out as we go through today, but it's going to be mostly cloudy otherwise. 61 in Joplin, calm breeze out there, and we've got cooler temperatures compared to yesterday, but again, not bad. 62 Neosho, Carthage, Lamar, 61 in Fort Scott, Iola, Pittsburgh, Miami, Parsons, and 60 in Chautauqua. Again, as we get our day started, we're going to have those cloudy skies, maybe a few peaks of sun, but again, we're still warming up. We're near 80 by late morning. We'll take another look at the rest of today and the week ahead, as well as the news you need to know when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Authorities arrest Clint Nybarger and Kimberly Thomas in Taney County, Missouri for the murder of Dakota Patton. Nybarger was reportedly the last person to see Patton alive. Patton's family previously told us the family became suspicious of Nybarger starting April 25th, around the time of Patton's disappearance. Nybarger and Thomas are charged with first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder. On Tuesday, the Kansas Department of Transportation participated in the Pittsburgh City Commissioners meeting, answering and fielding questions over the potential Highway 69 Western bypass. This is after they participated in the Crawford County Commissioners meeting in Girard this past Friday. KDOT fielded questions ranging from cost of the project, benefits of the bypass, and concerns of the bypass. City of Joplin looks to boost visitor numbers by taking a look at a tourism study conducted in town. The City of Joplin asked the Convention, Sports and Leisure International to conduct a tourism study in town, and results are in after a couple of months. On Monday, the council was presented with ideas such as a $7 million amphitheater or up to $42 million convention or sports center. History comes alive for some students in Carthage. On Tuesday, Carthage Intermediate Center hosted its Great Americans Day event in Central Park. The event featured volunteers who dressed up as historical figures to teach local students about their importance and the values they embodied. A performer portraying Squanto says each character not only talks about their life, but historical facts as well. And that's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
As we take a head out the door on the forecast, we are looking at cloudy skies today. Could see a few peaks of sunshine out there, but it doesn't stop us from warming up, low to mid 80s. Then we head into this evening. Scattered showers and thunderstorms will start to build in late this evening and into our Thursday. Now, our overnight storms and early Thursday storms are not looking to be strong or severe, but we could see some strong to severe thunderstorms by Thursday afternoon. We're heading for lows into the lower 60s. Let's look ahead. Mid 70s tomorrow, scattered storms, and we've got maybe a storm or two on Friday, lower 80s. Better storm chances as we head into Saturday evening, low 80s, and we'll hang out in the mid to upper 70s under partly cloudy skies as we kick off the next week.
All right, well, coming up today at noon, we're making chilled stacked salad in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Writer E. Jean Carroll and her attorneys sit down to discuss the stunning federal jury decision which found Donald Trump liable for battery and defamation. That's ahead on CBS Mornings.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. And this morning, we've got a double shot of Wildcat Wednesday interviews with Holly Miner here to talk about cats in the kitchen and Kitchen Kids Camp.
Lots of kitchen stuff coming on there. Plus, we're going to take another look at that forecast for you with the thunderstorm chances tonight into tomorrow. That's going to wrap it up for us for now. We will see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we're going to do it again today at noon.